Hello, friends. Welcome to the channel Alchemy of Being. I'm Zanzanil, the story changer. And through this series, we change the stories of people in various different ways. One common thing I've heard, is that whenever somebody is going through some trying times, some difficult times, some emotional difficulties, people around them just tell them, be strong. And I have myself faced this situation, and I always feel if at all being strong was a capsule that you can take with probably water and some food, and you could become strong, and things would get sorted on its own. But I've had my fair share of difficulties, and I'm sure a lot of people have the same question about what exactly does being strong mean. Now, Nirali Shah is an internationally certified practitioner. She's an energy healer, art therapist, and a life mentor. And she has over 18 years of experience in transforming lives of people across all ages. Hi, Nirali. So, now in your experience, how do you explain inner strength?
All right. So, first of all, hi to you and everyone. And while you were talking about the word be strong, what does strong mean? Let's start with that. Let's explore that first.
Strong, I would, in the way I feel, strong does not mean absence of weakness. Strong just means knowing your weaknesses and being able to handle it in a way that it does not make you weak. Handling your weaknesses in a way that empowers you and supports you.
Right.
That is what I feel about strong.
Right. So there are various definitions to the word strong or the word inner strength that you've just mentioned. Uh, let me kind of bring about the very basic idea of how inner strength or the word strong can be actually looked at in reality that could actually work for people. Now, let's start with a question. And questions are one of my specialties.
Yeah, I was
So
going to
it's
say that.
filled with so many questions.
Yeah.
Um, if you spot a problem on a beautiful tree that you own, or the problem is on the surface of in its fruits or on its leaves, where would you start working?
At the roots, it needs to have the right fertilizer with it, the right kind of the right amount of water, sunlight is where
Right.
the disease can be treated.
So why roots? Why not treat the leaves?
Because the leaves bring in the resources from the roots to be what they are. The leaves are not on their own. The leaves bring out the resources, pull the resources from the roots to become what they are. And if they're not pulling up the right kind of resources, or if they're pulling up resources that has that are malnourished, that does not have the right kind of nutrition for them, they're not going to be they're going to be weak, they are going to look diseased, and they are not going to be the best of what the leaves should be. So that is the reason the roots need to be treated so that they can provide the right kind of nourishment and resources.
Right. So when it comes to raising a plant, we know that it has to be nurtured from its roots. The strength comes from the roots. So, what is a strength that we are aware of in our being as a human if there is a problem that surfaces on our life and our relationship? Where are the roots?
Good question. The roots are within us because there is something that we have created for us to believe that we deserve or we don't deserve, or we should or we shouldn't, or and that is where the interactions get influenced because of it. and that is where we
Okay.
kind of receive that kind of responses. So I'm not sure if I can explain it well, but yeah, if I feel offended by something somebody has said, it could mean directly mean that some of my belief systems are being challenged, and that is where I feel offended. So if things are not working out the way I expect, is because there are some belief systems within me that are limiting me from exploring more ways of making the situation more positive, or making the situation more empowering rather than being more stressful and being more challenging.
Right. So now when we're exploring the word strong or strength or inner strength, I would like our focus to go from the physical strength, because when you said that, most people uh, advise us to be strong, like many times, when the child cries, the mother says, be strong, you're not a
Yeah.
cry baby, right? Now this is where, the ideology of being strong begins. But in actuality, the child, or as us, even at this age, somewhere we don't know what it really means to be strong, because we're never told, what exactly you require.
Yes.
Like in terms of trees, we know that, it requires the deep rooting, it requires the right fertilizer, the right watering, the right environment, sunlight, or lesser sunlight, or a colder environment, or a warmer environment. We get educated that in our school. This part of how to, root ourselves, or how to bring in the right light, that part is not being educated or informed to us as a child, as a teenager, as as a professional. And this is where we keep struggling in understanding the word strong. We try and act strong in most life situations from the outside, wherein from the inside we are breaking down.
Yes.
And 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 this is the reason where most times, in in the world, where we see that a lot of people are facing sudden depressions. And
Yes.
this happy person, very happy going lucky person, and then what happened? But it probably was not a happy-go-lucky person. Maybe there's something already breaking down within, was trying to put up a show, and somewhere the entire thing fell down. So can we stop that? And that's the thing that we're going to be probably addressing today. Now, when we talk about inner strength, the physical strength definitely matters. When physical strength, we talk about good healthy food, right nutrients, physically fit body, not having any disease or illness, right? And the ability to fight back to any external illness or viruses, or any physical issues. The second layer to what brings in this health, the physical health and the goodness of it, that the one that helps you digest the food, the good nutrients that you eat, and build in the right muscle when you go to a gym or go for a jog. That is your mind and your emotions.
Right.
And these are, because they are so subtle, we talk about, my mind is thinking this, and my mind is thinking that. But because they're not seen, we actually don't nurture this part of us, and we don't know how to really utilize this part. We don't know how to really understand this part. And we live in our own conceptions of what mind is, and we just keep going with the beliefs that we have understood about mind from the world, and we keep flowing with it instead of nurturing it in the right way that works for us. And
Right.
then after that comes our emotions. Now, the mind is made up of the emotions,
Right.
all the emotions that you experience in each of your event of this life. And then since we've already discussed past life, so obviously there is a life beyond this life, and all those emotions are built up from those experiences, and that makes the mind.
Okay.
So example, if you experience some pain in a certain situation, example, um, you experienced an accident
Hmm.
at the age of 6 years, and that was probably on a bicycle, and it was a traumatic one, and you still have that pain within you. It was very damaging. And if that emotion exists within you, your mind, how would your mind respond even at the age of 20 or 50 to bicycle or any similar situation or any XYZ experience?
I'll avoid it. I'll run from it. I'll use every excuse not to face it.
Not to face it, or you will be super scared of coming into any such similar environment where
Yeah.
a lot of people you would see and you heard that I can't handle hospitals,
Yes.
I
Yes.
can't see ill people, I can't see dead bodies. Now why is that? So that means there is an emotion that is behind this, the way your mind is reacting.
Right.
I get this anxiety, I get this excessive thoughts, I feel very negative, I feel very sensitive when I see things like that, is where your mind is responding based on that emotion that is
Right.
within you. So, the inner strength, if anybody wants to talk about inner strength, it is physical body, mind, emotion, and beyond that, there is a spirit body.
Okay.
And let's say if we are in this body, if we are living this life, be it an animal or be it us, each of us has the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the spirit body. So if anyone says that because I don't see it, I don't agree to the mental body and emotional body and the spirit body, I don't believe in the science of spirit and stuff like that, we cannot deny that. If we are denying that, we are denying our own self and our own existence. So the strength is built from spirit body, emotion, mind, and anything is in this place is all getting affected on the physical body.
Okay.
Slowly.
So yeah. So the
Yeah, yeah,
way
please, please tell me.
the way I understand is that the emotional body and the spiritual body is something that works in the background, and based on that is what the mind will create its belief system and respond to whatever I'm consciously experiencing right now, whatever I'm
Uh,
experiencing that I know and understand about.
uh, you'll perceive your world through your mind, yes, for sure. Uh, but it's not the belief, it does not exist on the mind. The belief exists
In the emotional
beyond
and right.
beyond emotions and before the spirit body.
So, in the technical terms, if I like to put, the spirit body and the emotional body is the software, and the mind is the actual programming that uses the software to create whatever uh, output is expected.
I'll help you put it up in a better way.
Yes.
Uh, the mind is the screen
Okay.
that reflects whatever is programmed within. So programming is the coding, the belief system.
Okay.
Software is the emotions.
Okay.
How it
Mm,
looks like, angry a
makes
person, a
sense.
happy person. Which
Right.
software are you using at that very moment?
I have to
And
say you're
and
so technically
body
sound.
and the spirit body is basically the electricity, the energy that runs the entire system.
So simplified.
So if there is no spirit body, would your system run?
No.
Yeah. So can we deny our spirit body? our hardware, our coding, our software that
Absolutely.
creates what we see on the screen.
Absolutely not. So, for all those people who just believe what you see is what you get, there's a lot going on at the back of the screen that you need to realize and acknowledge.
In the world of psychology, they say there is a world of uh, what we are aware of, what we see on the surface, and then there is a subconscious and unconscious, a world that can be explored, and then there is an unconscious world which is a totally unknown zone.
Okay.
And this is the part that the entire universe, the universal oneness, and all of that exists. But
Right.
if coming back from that entire idea to the topic of inner strength and being strong, uh, I believe the first thing that we all need to be educated with is that the mind and emotions require nurturing, and then require to be looked at. You can't ignore the emotions of you, like when we say that this person is bad, or the terrorist, or the ones who are going on the not so right track. Why did they become what they become? There are experiences that they couldn't release in this life or previous lives, and they chose to be this. And that is where they become, they act so angry, they like the violence, because they're somewhere trying to release that excessive hatred that they've accumulated in many lifetimes. It cannot be the result of this lifetime, so in many lifetimes, coming out in the immenseness of hatred and resulting into the violence in the world. So one thing, if you really want to have peace, we talk about peace. Uh, I think this is one thing that we must start teaching our children, ourselves first of all, because only if we are aware is where we can make our children aware that the strength is not the physical strength. It is not just having a good gym body, the right muscle, and the six pack body. It also requires the mental strength and the emotional strength. And then, if you're willing, then there is the strength of the spirit energy. So, yeah, that's what, to be more precise and exact and more clear about what inner strength means. These are the three aspects that needs to be addressed.
It becomes so easier to understand in inner strength with the terminology of the screen, the software programming, and the electricity. So, since people believe only what they see, how would you explain, or how, what would you say about the importance of inner strength? So there are people who are, people who know that, I need to be strong internally, but then there are people who don't believe in those kind of things. So to be able to make this simpler for both these people, what would you say is the importance of inner strength in our regular day to day life?
Let me clarify that I don't want to focus on the idea of mental health or emotional health. I would rather like to talk about the strength.
Right.
Yeah. And when we're talking about strength, I mean, what if an imagination of a strong person, what would be the life like of being a person who is strong in every way? What is the
uh,
life of a person who's strong in every way?
the person who's strong in every way has a happy life, gets everything what they want, and everybody likes them, and they are a magnet basically to everything good in life. They're magnet to all, good relationships, good living conditions, good financial conditions, good career conditions, everything. That's the so when you talk about a strong person, is this is what a picture generally people would kind of imagine.
Yeah. So I think everybody wants to be strong.
Yes,
And how to get there is what we are missing. So what
yes,
happens? What happens for a strong person? The person can bring in all the desires in his life or in her life because the person believes that I can have it.
right,
The person is not going to be tampered by outside circumstances. The happiness of the person or the balance of the person would not be tampered by the outside circumstances, be it, the current situation, which is the corona, the lockdowns, be it the ups and downs in the business, workplace, relationship. Things change. See, the world
right.
is changing. We change. We were 7 year old or a 7 month old time in our life. We have changed, and we stop that? So
No,
things change. The strong person is comfortable in each aspect of the change,
right,
is willing to embrace the change.
right,
And for a really strong person, the change is effortless.
right,
It doesn't have to struggle to continue with the change. It flows with the change.
right,
And the happiness is not changing. The quotient of happiness doesn't change there. With all of that, there will be less obstacles or no obstacles. If anything shows up that feels more difficult, the person is stronger and bigger than the problem,
right,
or at least knows how to make themselves bigger than the problem.
right.
So wouldn't anybody like to have be that kind of a person?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. This is an image that we've always resonated with as of a superhero. The
Yes,
one who can deal with anything in life and has a superpower. And wouldn't we like to have that superpower? So that's what I'm talking about. When we're talking about inner strength, it involves all of these aspects. And this is the picture that we can see, or we can expect uh, uh, when we're talking about inner strength.